So welcome to Bunny's Designs. This is a live stream recorded for Ustream.tv and also for YouTube for people to watch at their leisure. Thank you for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, it's a live stream, so there's natter, there's chatter, and a lot of waffle. So I've bitten the bullet and bought one or two extra neocolor 2s. And I'm in the process of buying a Derwent art bag so that I can put my neocolor 2s and my Derwent art bars in the bag, and then they'll be in sleeves, so they're easy to use and you can use them whether they're here or you can take them out. And the neo bars will be there as well, so all my watercolor crayons will be in an art bag, and then I can take them around with me and use them like this, which is really good. It's very quick. I'm also putting them in my little book of watercolors, and I've made some bigger squares this time because I want this to last. So I've done the greys and the next page. The plastic goes in between, and because this is cheap photocopy paper, when it has two pieces of card with colours on stuck to it, it becomes quite sturdy. So although it actually starts out as a thin piece of photocopy paper, it ends up with some good card on either side. Excuse me. So I've got my light yellows and my orangey yellows, and then the next ones, and I did have them all in order, but I've been playing about with them. And it's good to put them in order. It took a long time. I think there was a video this morning. It took a good hour or so to get them all sorted into colour order and into sections of 6. But then that makes it quite easy when you want to make your colours. You get them all organised on a tray and you work through them 6 at a time. And then you'll end up with a really neat colour coordinated book. Excuse me. So I'm working with a mixture of old and new, and the Neo Arts were the original Neocolor 2s, and I love this set because they're quite chunky, these. And then of course I've got some new ones, some that I had about 10 years, and these are bought that arrived today. So there's a real eclectic mix. All the colours work perfectly okay. It doesn't matter whether 20 years old or 2 years old. They're all working exactly as they should do. So they keep really well. And this is another set that I have that is actually my daughter's set. And I wish they'd bring this out again because it's got some 15 of the best colours you ever need. So I'll pop that to one side. Just have a mouthful of coffee, excuse me. And then I'll zoom in and we'll finish this little horse. If anybody's got any questions, pop them in caps. And hopefully I still should be in focus. So I'm using number 191 Turkish green, sorry, turquoise green, and I think the other one is just a pale blue. It's a number 171. And if I look on my chart, I find 171. It's called turquoise blue. So I'm using turquoise green and turquoise blue. So I'm putting blue on the darker sides, and then I'm putting green on the highlights. Just bear with me 2 seconds. So I'm quite enjoying playing with these colours. The minute I stream, everybody wants to ask me questions. Just bear with me 2 seconds. Sorry about that, I had a coughing fit. I cleared my throat. So I want the pink, the blue in the bottom and the green on top. And these are such nice crayons to just kind of scratch the surface. And that's all you do. Oops, sorry, I was out of shot. I just scratched a little bit of colour. Now with these, because they are so pigmented, you couldn't lay them on your work because you would get colour. I'm using the number 1 little fine Derwent water brush. I find it's the driest and it keeps the pages from buckling, so it's okay in my book, but yet it allows you to do some really nice blending. And the neocolor 2s just melt into colour. They're extremely well behaved, a little bit like Alfie, who isn't under the table. I don't know where he is. So it looks like I'm going fairly fast, but I am trying to manipulate it into a watercolour. It's not a background. This is going to be the final look. Oh, he was under the table. Sorry, I didn't know he was. So it's just nice to move things about, and this paint glides about. As soon as it's manipulated with a brush, it becomes a really nice watercolour that we can just kind of move about. Not sure if I want to change the colour of the horse at the back, so just have to stop in a second. It will give me an opportunity to bring in another colour if I wanted to, and I think I might want to actually. I think I like the idea of a purple. I worked a lot with just these. I've always had just these colours, and I've worked a lot with them, and I've grown to kind of like certain colours. And they all go together very well. So I think that's the one I thought I would maybe use. So if you put a little bit of purple, you can play and you can see what it looks like next to it. I mean, you can throw this piece of paper away or you can keep it for a reference. And I do like that purple in there, I have to say. Unless I take the green. I like this green. It's quite nice, is this green. If you, again, you see you can't see it watered down. So it does go into a paler colour, almost the same colour as that one. But I keep thinking I want a different colour. Don't think I want... I'm using the rule of 3, and it's purely by accident. And I've also used all these in rules of 3 for years when I did my my flowers. So the purple will go with the blue. The purple will go with blue, and the green probably would go as well, but I'm not sure about the purple. I think I like the purple. So I'm going to put the purple up there. With this one and this one. And then we're going to mix it up. So you can get a real feel of exactly what's going to happen. But without the purple, there's something nice happening, and then the purple kind of is like a whoosh. Or do I want to kind of put a little bit of this French ultramarine in there? Again, that's going to completely stir things up. I think I like that one actually, and it will go really nice down here. So very dark, going to pale. So I just have to do a little bit of manoeuvrability around there, moving that round. So I think I'm going to have this really dark and we can do two things. We can have a highlight, or we can have a low light, or we can have middle to dark. I think we'll have the dark around the outside. I think I don't think we're going to have much more than that. It's a very, very strong ultramarine, that one. Dark ultramarine. Excuse me. And I think that's going to go down really well. So I'm going to start here and maneuver that about. And remember what we said about you can play a couple of times on a piece, but then you have to move on, because if you loiter with a damp brush, it will go through your page. Oops, sorry, my little man has seen has seen a threat. Some poor person passing by. Thank goodness it had dried, because I put my arm in it. So the only reason I'm going fast is because as soon as you touch these, they melt. So you've got to have a bit of a practice. I'm not slapping it on. I am trying to control this awesome colour and get a really nice blend going on. just... Now, if you mess it up, it doesn't matter because you can go back when it's dried and you can play again, because I want to maneuver that about. And really I need to be this kind of, it needs to be this kind of this is really bad with my right hand when I'm left-handed, but you really do need to keep the momentum going to get that nice that really nice natural highlight going. And it's crinkled a little bit, but it's a big space, is that. So I need a tiny bit more colour so I can touch the end, just touch the end a little bit because I don't want too much, but I do want just a little bit, enough to give these a bit of a shadow. So there's a little bit of a highlight, but once I've got those other fish sorted out, and again you can go back in there, but really not until it's dried. But I love the dramatic end of the tail, and again I think I might go back into the main and put just a little bit more darker, a little bit darker, so I will remember that's French ultramarine, but I can write down number 640. And I will write the purple one down even though I didn't use it, which is 620. Yeah, the purple one would have been just one too many because we've got blue and green. Purple is on the other side, so that would have been the rule of 4. So rule of 3 is try to stick with the colours next to each other on the colour wheel. So there's a purple blue, there's a bluey green and a green. So if it had gone straight to purple, I'd have missed the blue out and it would have not quite worked. Whereas I think we just about got away with that. Now that's dried at the top, I could possibly go in a bit stronger. And that's going to become a really thick colour. To kind of fill that space. Now I've got some seahorses there. I think I'm just going to go in with the brush. Oh, I know I had some, that's what I had here, look. I'd forgotten about that, so there must be another little bit I've missed. Ah, here. So we want this colour down there, and then that's all it needs to be. and that can be manipulated backwards. And you've got a nice little highlight. And just double check I've not forgotten anything. Oh, thank you, Mel, thank you. And I would have spoilt it if I'd have put the purple in, because the purple would have been just a colour too far. But that blue works really well. And that's the rule of 3. That's why things work if you stick to the rule of 3. Having said that, I haven't a clue. I think I did that one this green, so I might have to do these little seahorses. I think they might have to be either. I wanted to do them paler, but they're not looking paler. Alfie's outside having a bark attack. Where's Suzanne and her big stick? He's not behaving himself. He's not behaving himself, Suzanne. Tell him off. He only does what Suzanne tells him to do. Quite like playing with these little colours. Oh, thank you, Mel. Thank you. Oh, it's another one there. Look, you see, you blink and you miss. You blink and you miss these seahorses. Yeah, he's in one of his barky pants mode. So thanks for stopping by, guys. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for watching on YouTube. This is a live stream from ustream.tv and also recorded for YouTube. This is a Thursday live stream. Everybody has a natter, asks questions. It's always good for asking questions because you get immediate answers. If you have any questions, pop them in caps if you're live now. And if anybody wants to know anything, please like and subscribe because it makes me feel I'm doing the right thing and I'm doing what people want. But if you don't find what you want, drop me a message and see what I can do. So we're looking for seahorses, and there's bound to be some more because that's what Kirby does. There's one up there. So in the UK, our evening is just coming to an end. But because the girls are out, we have a little one on the end here as well. So blue is the body and green is it. That's what I'm trying to do, is blue is the body. And this little brush is really good for keeping into small spaces. It's ever so good, and then it can release a drop of water to make you have that watercolor effect. So it's quite nice to use, I have to say, and really quick. I don't mean rushing quick. I just mean it's the way it is. Now again, I don't have a clue what I'm going to do with the shoal of fish. We could do them a bright orange if we really wanted to mix up the colours, reds and yellows. And again, it's good to look back. Always clean your water brush because I like it to be nice and clean. But that's all I've wasted. So as a tight Yorkshire lass, I'm a quite happy girl about that. Just got to remember not to touch anything wet because this is like solid colour. So I don't think I need that anymore. I'm probably going to find, yes, there's another one, look. You can guarantee Kirby will hide anything anywhere. And there's probably going to be another one tucked away somewhere. Now the ones on the other side, we haven't got any on the other side. No, we haven't. So if you get a bit stuck, the thing to do is to just sit back, because there's nothing worse than ruining something that's going okay. I mean, it isn't the end of the world, but you will think it is if you spent a long time. So what I do is I just take a break, go make a coffee or something, and think, well, actually, I really like those colours, and I really think that maybe some reds and oranges might look quite nice. And the brightest things I'm doing at the moment are the dragons. And as you can see, that red is kind of really in your face, but there is that turquoise, and these are peerless. That's peerless. This one's ink tense. And unless I've got those the wrong way around. No, that's definitely the reds. And then this one is gouache. And so I really like the red, and I made a quieter background. And then I thought I'd brighten it up a bit. Now I'm not really happy with the way this went, but I'll replay with that. I think I like the pale belly, but I think he can do with a really black, very purpley. So I can play with that, and that looks to me like a French ultramarine. It's almost a dead ultramarine. But so if we look at the greens and here we can see the greens and we can see the reds and the yellows together, especially here, and I like that. So that means I think I could put and I also put a little sticky on here as well that tells me what I'm working on at the time. And as you can see, there's a lot more stickies there than there are at the end when they're finished. So that tells me that I quite fancy the rule of three again that I used, a red, an orange and a yellow. So I'm probably sticking with these because I like these colours. So we've got a vibrant red, we've got an orange, and we've got a cold yellow and a warm yellow. So we could do this to stir things up a bit, or we could just stay with those. And again, not sure, so we'll take the yellow one out. and we'll have a bit of a play. So we've got the yellow, I've got those three colours, and we've got these three colours, and then we've got a red, an orange, and a yellow. Now just looking at them, I actually really like the bright yellow. So you can imagine these fishes going around. But then, is it going to take away from the horse? So again, it's something to think about. So we're going to just have a bit of a play. So we can take the yellow, and then we can take the orange, and then we can mix that in. We can take the yellow, mix in with the orange and the red. And you do need to clean your brush for this. I've actually got the yellow in the wrong place. I've got the yellow and the red. I think I prefer this one. I think I prefer the orange and the red and the pale rather than the bright yellow. So they could have an orange body and a red fins. That might look okay. So again, very quickly, I'll just write the numbers down, which we had 240, and we had 40, and we had 530, and then we had 560. So the easiest way to do that, and then if you can see that looking from afar, you can see actually that's not going to jump out, whereas these will jump out. I do quite like that one. So in that case we could have a red body and bright yellow fins. That could go. I like the red. I think the red's going to look good. I think I might actually just use the brush. So we're going to just do one. So we've got yellow fins and yellow tails. And then we've got this kind of red. Now it's come over a bit salmony because it's very pale, so just make it a bit stronger. So what I can do in here is drop some water and make it really strong. And that's going to then show up. I should have left this one, but it'll annoy me if I don't do it. So I'll zoom in, and again I'm not sure if it was the right thing to do. Maybe I should have had orange and yellow would have looked better. I think orange and yellow would have probably looked better. But it's a colour book. It's done now. And if you want to go in there with, again, it's probably a good idea to leave it a little while. And maybe a pinkier red would have probably been better. So I'm actually going to do all the yellow first. And don't think because it's pale yellow it's not going to be vibrant, because it is. It's going to be very vibrant. And I think I wanted that transition, that orange red. I think I kind of like that transition thing going on. And I guess you want to just sit and do this. You don't have to draw actually on. You don't have to crayon on, that's what I'm trying to say. You can just bear with me a second. Sorry, Sam. I was just panicking, thinking that Alfie was outside on his own. Oh, he's just come to see me. We haven't had an Alfie cam for a while. Have we, Alfie? Alfie! Alfie's been a good boy. So I'm doing quite a lot of the yellow first, because it's not the strongest colour. And in theory, if we start at the nose and go backwards, we're going to get a nice transition colour. Oopsie. Somebody's been a grumpy girl. I quite like these. They've kind of brightened things up a bit, so I think they'll be okay. Now here, I want to morph into the body, so I need to pick up a bit of that green and blue and kind of morph it. I don't think I morphed very well there, but it's always a bit easier to work when your page is more comfortable for you. So I like the fact that they're quite red, but and if you make a bit of a boo-boo, you just have to let it go until another day, because that page really wants to dry out now. So thanks for stopping by. I hope everybody's okay. Thanks for watching on YouTube. Can't wait to get these colours into my little book. And then it's very similar to using this, but you don't have to hold the crayon, but you've got this much control over it by having them on a paper palette. So I really like that, and they're going to be fun to use. Has anybody got any questions? I tend to get carried away with myself a little bit. Oh dear, Suzanne. Your little boy's been naughty, but then he's been good, and now he's been naughty again. So I think this red is quite nice against all the other colours. And because it's already red, it's gone orange where I wanted it to go orange, so that's quite nice. He's outside. He's being allowed outside on his own. Well, he's not on his own. Hubby's outside. But we keep hearing him when anybody goes past because we hear this woo woo woo. But I did shout. I actually shouted Nigel, and he appeared. He did trot in to say hello. I think he's gone back outside now. It's not sunny. It's looking quite miserable out there. I think it's probably the last bit of sun, but we haven't got any sun. These are quite small spaces, but this little brush is doing really well. And again, it's a really nice, quiet way to work, just picking these little fish off one at a time. And then manipulating that red to make an orange tail. So you can do them all at once, or you can pick them off one at a time, whichever's easiest, whichever appeals to you. I kind of go till there's nothing left on the brush, and then I know it's time to change. Oh, thank you, Suzanne. Yes, we could do with a bit more sunshine here. It's definitely been a bit of a miserable couple of days. I keep threatening to run away to Florida where it's warm and all the old grannies go because of the weather for their arthritis. I imagine myself as a golden girl. I've always done that since I was little when I first watched them. The Golden Girls, was it the early 80s? I can't remember. And I always thought, I could do that. I could run a B&B and give art lessons in the sunshine. There we go, free art lessons if you stay at my B&B. I cook a mean full English, which is quite unusual because I was a vegetarian for 15 years. This is really therapeutic, just picking up these hundreds of little fish. There's so many little fish. Oh yes, Suzanne. Alfie will be there. Alfie likes to be warm. He's a real soft boy. I don't think you have such things as B&Bs in bed and breakfast little places in Florida. Have we got anybody in Florida? Whereabouts are you, Suzanne? I've forgotten where you are. I would think most of America is in basking in sunshine, as in most of Europe is. It's just when it comes to England, it kind of dips, disappears. But there again, it's like the little man saying he'd been to a village. A shoe salesman went to a village and came back and went, "Oh, I didn't sell anything because none of them wear shoes." And the other little man came back and said, "Cool, blimey, what a field day I've had. None of them have got any shoes. I've sold everything." And so it depends on how you look at something, isn't it? It's really good. I think I told that very badly, but you get the gist. So instead of saying, "Oh, well, they don't do B&Bs over there," you should say, "Oh, well, they haven't got one yet." Start a trend. Art B&Bs. I did actually go to Spain to buy a hotel to do art, and then the girls wanted to come home, and they missed their dad, bless them. And now everybody's doing it. I keep finding other little fish. I think he's going to have to be a real red fish. Mr. Bright Pants there. He's been quite brave. I feel like it's a Sunday afternoon. I feel like it's just a Sunday afternoon. I think that's because the girls aren't here. I'm sure that fish is upside down. Maybe in a second. I'll read chat in just a second. Just a second. I keep thinking I've got them all, and then I find another one. Think we found all the fishes. No, I've just found two more. What did we say? You sure they have B&Bs? Oh, you're next door to Florida. Oh, in Georgia. Yes, but I'm sure that would be wonderful and warm. Anywhere warm for me. My arthritis is do not like cold, and they don't like wet. I tell a lie. They don't mind freezing cold, actually, one of them. I can cope when it's freezing cold, but it's our nasty drizzle we get. We have this thing in November and February, and it's just nasty drizzle rain. So I think I've done most of them. I'm just going to catch up. No, if I came on my own, Alfie'd have to stay with me. He has to make sure that I'm safe. Because I always say that about burglars. We never have any burglars around here. Because he'd eat them. Keep finding these little fish everywhere. Oh, we'll have an Alfie cam in a second. If he comes in. I do keep finding new fish. I think that just that little touch. Oh, welcome, Book Nester. Welcome to Bunny's Designs. I'm catching up with all these little fishes, and there's quite a few. I don't intend to count them, but there's one or two. So welcome to Bunny's Designs. It's a live stream on Thursday. was completely knocked off my feet last week with my youngest being in hospital, but she's still not right, but bless her, she's better than she was. I think I can honestly say I finished the fish. So some are different colours, and I actually quite like that. Some are darker and some are lighter, so I don't know whether I'll go over them or not. I think I'll probably wait to the end. I've found a really nice dark blue, but I think it might be too dark. And I seem to be sticking in this this set of colours. So I wrote the colours down for the fish. You could probably put a little bit of orange in there, see what happens. Oh, that's nice. What happens is the redders get redder and the orangey bit gets orangey. Ooh, that's quite nice. That's made them very rich. And it's also brought a bit of continuity in it as well. I think actually they more look like goldfish now. And they always say you should put yellow underneath. Oh, they look like really nice goldfish now. I don't like Dr. Seuss. I have to say, I'm not quite sure why. We were having this conversation, The Cat in the Hat, and I can't bear to look at it. I was frightened to death as a child. Not sure why, but I can't believe that orange is just really making those fish golden. Oops, I found a fin that I've missed. And that orange actually works better, I think, with the horse than the bright red. So the pinky red, it was an orange one we wanted, so that was quite good. Somebody's grumbling over there. Dexter! Oh, I can't shout at Dexter, bless him. He's deaf. You won't be able to hear him. So I do like the orange. I like the orange fish. She had a lot of pain. They thought it was appendicitis. So that's why they starved her for Thursday. When she came home on Thursday, I was screaming live. And my husband had to go pick her up. Which is why I could stream later. And she walked in and I said, "Are you okay?" And she went upstairs and she fell asleep. And she'd been really violently sick. And she just was so poorly. And then At 8 o'clock, I realised, she really needs the doctor, so we went to casualty and arranged to see a doctor who said it was a bug, but she was crying all night in pain. And so I got an appointment Friday morning, and he sent her straight to hospital, so she hadn't eaten properly since Thursday. So she was poorly, bless her. And then they had to starve her because they said if it was appendicitis. But she did have to wait from Friday morning. She went first thing Friday morning to hospital, and it was Sunday morning. Sorry, it was Sunday morning before she got her scan. And they tried to starve her all that time. And I said, you can't do that to her because she's thin as it is. So I was a bit disgusted because she was supposed to starve on Friday, and they starved her all day Thursday, and it came to Thursday evening, and Friday evening, and I said, I'm sorry, but if you don't feed her, I'm taking her home. And then they said, oh, give her a sandwich, and then they fasted her all night, and she was supposed to have the scan the first thing Saturday morning, and they starved her all day, and it got to tea time, and I said, look, this is ridiculous. If you don't go get a scan, I'll go get one myself. And they starved her again, and I said, look, you've just asked her the menu, she's starving. So they let her have something to eat, a sandwich. And then they said she can't have the scan until tomorrow morning, so it was Sunday morning before she got the scan. But of course she's starved all that time, and then when she's trying to eat, she's just not hungry. So a bit cross actually. Because if it had been an appendicitis, she would have been in a bad state. So I was a little bit cross. Oh, thank you, Kenny. A little bit cross that, I know she was on a children's ward, and then so we went early Sunday morning because I wanted to make sure that she was all right, because I knew they'd starved her, and they lied to me. They said they gave her a sandwich at 8 o'clock, because I said she can't go until probably lunchtime, and then she might have to have surgery. So she can't go another whole day without food. They said, oh, we'll wake her up, we'll feed her at 8 o'clock. And I rang up and I said, is she all right? We can't get hold of her. And they went in and said, oh yes, she's fast asleep, but we fed her at 8 o'clock. And that was a lie, because they hadn't fed her. That was a barefaced lie, which is most unusual. So we got there and they said, oh, would you like to take her down? So we had to take her down. I thought, wow, do I do the operation myself as well? I do have a scalpel. No? Shall I take the appendix out? I couldn't believe a woman in a wheelchair and a 65-year-old who just had a stroke had to take a 17-year-old for a scan. But there we go. But I was so relieved it wasn't appendicitis. You kind of forget. You just want her home. So now she can't eat properly, so... Oh dear. Bless her little socks. That was my rant for the day, sorry. I've had that in me all week. Really like that orange with the red underneath. I wouldn't have thought of putting red underneath, but it's made those little things pop. Yeah, it was a bit ridiculous. As I said, she was on the children's ward. So I really like that, but I have no idea what I'm going to do, so I'm going to just pop this out. The worst thing was they said, would you like to fill the menu in for tomorrow? And they came in with the roast dinner and put it in front of her and her pudding. And she said, I can't eat that. I'm starved. I'm starved. I can't eat that. Because I'm on a starving thing. Any teenager would have stuffed the face with it because she'd not eaten for 5 days. But bless her, she actually turned the food down. I don't think they meant to do it, but you would think. I mean, she was the only girl in the ward. She was on her own. There was nobody else. The other two had gone home. And she was just on her own, so there was no... I kept shutting the door so she couldn't smell the food, and they kept opening. Oh, thank you. Let me see if I can just pan out. So, sorry guys, that was my whinge for the day. Oh, I do like the gold colour now. I like the goldfish. They've turned into goldfish. They were pinky red and now they're gold. So I quite like those. So if I use that really dark blue, there's this one which is Prussian blue, but I have bought indigo blue. That's quite a dark blue. That should look quite nice. So it could go dark to light, or light in the middle and then dark. Because on the other side I'm going to do I'm going to use my Derwent art bars, so there'll be a comparison. So we've got some, well, I think they're clouds or bubbles. I've got some coral, so I should put these colours back. I used to have them in order, but I don't anymore. These want to go in here. So I need some coral colour, but I'm going to call that a day because it's gone to an hour. So that's not so bad. It's all dry. Really like these little golden fish, and because some had more red than others, they kind of look very golden, whereas I really wanted them quite red. But I like the fact that it's really easy and there's no mess. Now I was just using these 15 colours, which is a very old set of neocolor 2s before they were called neocolors. They are neo art. Finest water soluble pastels. And my little Derwent number 1 water brush. Oopsie. So thanks for watching.